Welcome back to SportsLine, everybody. We are talking NCAA March Madness hoops with Brittany Jackson, former Lady Vol star and friend of News Channel 5 Plus and News Channel 5. Keep saying it, but it's great to have you here. It's great to see you.
I know.
We're both super busy, but we maintain a really good friendship over the years, and I'm very thankful for that. For those of you who missed the first segment of the show, Brittany not only graced us with her presence on tonight's show, but she also brought us some great gifts. Tell the folks that may be tuning in a little late about these wonderful drinks that you brought for us today.
Yeah, so we are, I'm involved. This is a CBD functional wellness beverage, very healthy. Who's not trying to get more healthy at this time in their life, at any point in their life? But really dove into CBD whenever my mom, started getting sick with Alzheimer's, and was just interested in it. Doctors were talking about it, had no idea what it was. And now, 5 years later, have a company that we have 2 different flavors, a Focus and a Chill. And we also have a line of shots that we have a sleep shot that kind of helps you sleep like a baby at night. But, doing great, launching all over the country, just launched in Nashville with Bounty Beverage, and, are just really taking over. We're in grocery stores, gas stations, on premise, at bars and restaurants. But CBD is just so good for so many things, and like stress, anxiety, inflammation, arthritis, and so it's not just young, it's all ages. And so that's why I got involved, and it's just we're taking over. Nashville, it's awesome. We launched a couple months ago, and so I'm here in Nashville mainly now, and it's something that everybody can drink, and it's just a wellness, health, and wellness beverage.
Yeah, and it's so important because you mentioned arthritis. I played rugby for 19 years. I was a professional wrestler for another 6. I still work out like a maniac now. Not sure why. So I get sore a lot. I need something to kind of, like I was on a plane just the other day.
Oh gosh, the worst.
Hour and a half plane ride coming back from Pennsylvania. And I tried to, get a little sleep, and it just.
You needed the chill.
I needed the chill because, the soreness and just the achiness, just was almost overwhelming at times. And all I was doing was sitting on a plane. You know what I mean? So I would highly recommend. So grocery stores, convenience stores. What's the name of the company?
It's Cure.
Cure.
Yeah, okay. Cure is the name of the company, and it's a functional. So we're that entry level. There's a lot of CBD out there. It's expanding all over the country. A lot of people still don't have a lot of knowledge and education behind it.
I was going to say, because people, they hear CBD and they're thinking, we know what
a psychological effect or something, and that is not it. There's no
CBD is not THC,
Absolutely.
Right?
There's no THC in this. There's no psychological effect. That's why we're very hands-on. I'm here in Nashville, and then we've launched in Chicago, Nashville, Texas, all over Tennessee, and I go and I do samplings, and I educate the consumer and educate the sales team that's selling it, and that there's no psychological effect. We actually have a pharmacist by trade that's one of our founders, and so the herbal extracts that are mixed with the 20 milligrams of CBD are a lot of things that they're already taking, the ashwagandha, B3, B12, so it's very, very healthy. So trying to get away from that stigma of is and I think in Tennessee especially, we're always a little bit slower than everybody, but it's just so important. Like, we do a lot of education and a lot of just giving people the knowledge behind CBD and how much it is helpful for everyone.
Now, would I want to drink this cold over ice?
Cold, it is better cold.
Okay.
It's better cold, absolutely, yes. And so our chill is just a non-drowsy. It's not going to put you to sleep. So people always ask, it's a non-drowsy. And then our Focus is what we call like our energy, but it's just got a little caffeine in it, green tea extract. So
no taurine or anything like that.
No, jittery. You're not gonna. But it's just it's a health and wellness beverage. It's doing great, and I think this is the time. We're so excited to be here in Nashville, and Nashville I call the new LA, So,
yeah, you were saying that off air.
I call that. I mean, it's just it is the place. It's the happening place, and so yeah, you'll hopefully find it in your grocery store near you, your gas station you go in to get gas, whatever you do. But you're going to see Cure everywhere in Nashville.
Okay, is there a website people can go if they want more info?
thecurebrand.com.
Thecurebrand.com.
You can actually go on there and you get a free sampler pack if you, you register online.
Wow.
We'll send you a free sampler pack because we have other things. We have some shots, like if you don't want to drink the full 12-ounce can, we have a shot like a 5-hour energy type size, and then we also have gummies and different things like that. So you know, just go on the website thecurebrand.com and you can get all the information. But hopefully you'll see Cure out there somewhere.
Okay, well, yeah, folks, do your homework on this. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna, take some of these fine samples home, and I'm definitely gonna have some of that chill tonight before I go to bed because it has been a long day. You also mentioned during the break just the fact that as we shift back to the women's tournament, Tennessee, of course, plays Buffalo. Belmont will play in the same pod, so we could see Tennessee versus Belmont in round 2. And, you look at the Belmont program, they've been dominant in the OVC. They won the OVC tournament again this year. They've won 4 out of the last 5 years, the OVC tournament. And that'd be a fun matchup, watching Tennessee take on. Much like last night when we saw Vanderbilt take on Belmont in the NIT. Yeah. It would be kind of cool to see Tennessee v. Belmont in the women's second round. It
would, yeah. When I saw that, I thought that would be so cool. I mean, because I got to watch Belmont play a couple months ago, and very impressed. Like, they hustle, they play hard. So I thought, oh, that'd be neat, because I had watched them play earlier, and I said that'd be a neat matchup. So it's just, the Lady Vols, it's just every team is coming after them. You have a target on your back, so it's. I'm pulling for them and cheering for them and hope that we make a huge run in this tournament.
You mentioned it. I mean, they're going to be, down a couple players. They're dealing with some bumps and bruises, but from playing, there's no excuses. No. You got, other people have to step up, and you got to play your best game. And as Pat used to say many years ago, survive and advance, right? Survive and advance. That's it. One game at a time. Yeah. And then when you look at the men, obviously they're taking on Longwood tomorrow. You can watch the game on News Channel 5. First round, they're 17-point favorites, and then it's either going to be Colorado State, assuming that Tennessee wins tomorrow. It's either going to be Colorado State or Michigan in the second round. And as we said, Michigan has been a colossal disappointment this year, but they're a dangerous team. Juwan's had a rough year. He kind of had that incident a couple of weeks ago, and this after having such a great year last year. And I think that kind of speaks to the pressure, and you mentioned it, of year to year, right? You have a good year, and that's expected every year. When you played for the Lady Vols, you were expected every year. Yeah. Final Four was like, of course, Final Four. National Championship was the expectation. Final Four was a given, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when we got beaten all 4 of those games. I mean, even my senior year when we had it set up to beat Michigan State and win the whole thing. You just played in the National Championship game, and you're not happy flying back home, but like teams like Michigan with that tradition, it doesn't matter, it's still you are, when you have tradition and those programs, you still have that pressure, right? Even though if you fell off a couple years or you not had a good season, it's still a lot of pressure for those, players to perform. And, with the scuffle that happened and all that stuff, I think that's something that, might motivate those players. And it's time now, it's tournament time to show them what we got. So, I know, you never know. You never know during tournament time. Yeah, we've seen, I remember growing up, I'm old enough to remember when NC State, made that run with Jim Valvano in 1983. That, to me, was like the first year where I realized, okay, this whole NCAA tournament thing is a big deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd watched it in previous years and be like, oh, okay. I watched North Carolina and Michael Jordan win it, the previous year. But when NC State won it and beat that great Phi Slamma Jamma Houston team with Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler and Benny Anders and all those greats from the Houston Cougars, that's when you realized this tournament is a big, big deal. When did you, growing up, when did you realize, obviously you've been playing basketball since you were 4 years old, which is amazing. I, didn't even know how to, walk from one end of the house to the other at 4 years old. You're out shooting hoops in the community center. When did you realize that March Madness was like a big deal, like one of the best, sporting events, tournaments in our country? Yeah, I think about that a lot whenever I talk. People ask me, and I think that, it wasn't probably until
right when I was really started getting highly recruited and was going on these visits to Alabama, to Clemson, to Tennessee, and then I was really paying more attention and would watch the tournament. And I always watched the tournament, like you said, but you never really. But and then once you get there, and even when I got there at the University of Tennessee, and like I said, went to 4 Final Fours. I mean, there's 8 players in the country that's ever done that.
Yeah.
I mean, you still don't. It just. Whenever you step back and after you experience, I think you really realize, I mean, it's such a special thing to be a part of. And it's something that, memories that you make that, but just even watching it, I mean, just as like fans, I mean, I saw fans this past weekend that literally have probably been coming to the SEC tournament and watching, the tournament for 50 years, I mean, so it's exciting. But I would say probably, in high school my sophomore, junior year, when I really started locking in to that and paying attention to the teams and how cool it was, the tournament.
You told a great story about playing for Pat the last time you were here. I think you were coming off a really good game, and Pat was kind of like...
Mississippi State.
Yeah. Can you tell that story again?
Yeah, it was my freshman year.
Okay.
So, with Pat, in any player, there's, 161 of us that have played for her, and they'll tell you, I mean, it was a lot of mind games, and just mental toughness is what she wanted to instill in you. You didn't understand it at all while you were there, but freshman year, hadn't played a little bit, a few minutes here and there, and Kara Lawson, I think it was, Kara Lawson had got hurt a little bit or something. So 25, get in. I go in, and I had 25 points. I could not breathe, and I thought I was going to die. I mean. Next game, I don't go in. I'm like, I'm thinking like, this is it. This is my breakout game. I have arrived. I'm here, and don't play the next game. And and I'm thinking, what in the world? But things like that she did to try to, mentally make you tougher. She always, emphasized just mentally tough. Being mentally tough is so important. And it's things now that I look back that you just appreciate, even in just life.
Yeah.
With life, like just being mentally tough. And but I'll never forget that story. My dad would always talk about it, like 25 points after the game, everybody's celebrating, we win, and I can't breathe. I mean, I'm like, I went from 5 minutes the last game to playing in 20, but
that's a great story.
Yeah.
Just a great lesson, like you said, teaching mental toughness. All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to wrap things up with Brittany Jackson as we talk March Madness hoops here on SportsLine. Stay with us. Back after this.